Thanksgiving, 2023, was a slasher horror film directed by Eli Roth that captivated audiences by creating a unique killer and building a narrative rooted in revenge. With its bloody carnage and gruesome twists, the film has revived interest in the slasher genre, joining the ranks of successful franchises like Scream and Halloween. At the center of the story is John Carver, a killer dressed in a pilgrim mask, who seeks vengeance for the deadly events of a chaotic Black Friday riot at the fictional Right Smart store in Plymouth, Massachusetts. This article explores the film's bloody ending, reveals the identity of the killer, and looks ahead to what fans can expect from a potential Thanksgiving franchise. The gruesome beginnings of Thanksgiving. The film kicks off in 2022 with a chaotic Black Friday event at the Right Smart store, where a mass brawl for discounted goods leads to many deaths. The store's owners, the Wright family, failed to implement proper safety protocols, leading to the riot. Despite the tragedy, the Wright family and their business escape without facing any consequences, thanks to money and influence. As the story picks up in 2023, we learn that a masked killer, who refers to himself as the Pilgrim, is targeting those he blames for the riot. The killer's victims include people involved with the riot and individuals who profited from the disaster without regard for the lives lost. The motivation behind the killings. The Carver killer's wrath is fueled by a deep-seated need for revenge. He targets Jessica Wright and her family because of their role in the deadly riot. Jessica's family, especially her father Thomas Wright, who is portrayed as a greedy businessman, represents the corporate corruption and lack of accountability that led to the disaster. Jessica and her friends are further blamed for inflaming the chaos by securing technology before the riot, which only worsened the situation. As the story progresses, the killer's methods grow more elaborate and horrific. One of the most disturbing acts involves Jessica's stepmother, Kathleen, being cooked in an oven, resembling a Thanksgiving turkey. The Pilgrim killer demands that the surviving characters understand why they deserve to suffer, a slow-burning lesson about greed, privilege, and the societal failures that allowed the riot to happen. Who is John Carver? The real identity of the killer is eventually revealed to be Sheriff Newland, a character who had been investigating the murders and gaining Jessica's trust. Early in the film, Newland appears to be a sympathetic character, but as the story unfolds, his dark side emerges. Newland was having an affair with Amanda, who was killed in the riot. Amanda was pregnant with his child, and Newland's grief and guilt over her death transformed him into the vengeful killer known as John Carver. Newland meticulously planned the murders, driven by a need to punish those he believed were responsible for Amanda's death. His motivation is not just about revenge for Amanda's life, but also for the unborn child she carried. His obsession with the riot and the aftermath led him to meticulously target those involved, framing Bobby, Jessica's ex, as the killer to divert suspicion from himself. The twist and climax, a bloody finale. The climax of Thanksgiving is filled with suspense and violence as Jessica fights to survive. After escaping from Newland's clutches, Jessica tries to expose the killer. In a final confrontation, she manages to trick Newland, leading to a massive explosion that seemingly kills him. However, the film leaves his fate unclear, with no body being recovered from the blast. A masked figure from the fire department hints at Newland's possible survival, setting the stage for future confrontations. Thanksgiving's telegraph twist. While the reveal of Sheriff Newland as the killer might have shocked some viewers, the twist is somewhat predictable. The film's early scenes establish Newland's grief over Amanda's death, and his subsequent behavior raises suspicion. His overbearing questioning of Jessica, particularly about the riot and the footage from the store, feels forced and leads the audience to question his true motives. Additionally, the interactions between Newland and Jessica throughout the film seem too much like a setup for a big reveal, making the twist less impactful than it could have been. Moreover, the film never fully builds up Bobby's character, which weakens the subversion of his potential guilt. Had the movie shown more of Bobby's rage and confusion, it would have made the eventual reveal of Newland as the killer feel more earned. The pacing of the final act also lacks some of the tension that makes a slasher reveal truly shocking. While the twist isn't poorly executed, it lacks the surprise factor that fans of the genre might expect. Setting up for a sequel. Thanksgiving ends with plenty of loose ends, offering a clear path to a sequel. Several characters survive the bloody ordeal, including Jessica, Bobby, and Ryan. The fact that John Carver's killer may have assistants adds an interesting layer to the potential for future films. There are hints that other individuals might take up the mantle of Carver, with the killer using different masks and involving other people in the abductions. This could open up opportunities for a multi-killer storyline, similar to other slasher franchises like Scream or Urban Legend. The film also leaves the door open for Mitch, Amanda's husband, to take on the role of a new antagonist. Mitch, who is angered by the Wright family's treatment of the store's employees, could be motivated to seek revenge on the family and continue the cycle of violence. Newland's mysterious ex-wife could also emerge as a new threat, continuing the tradition of surprise family members turning into killers, a trope popularized by Scream and other slasher films. The future of the Thanksgiving franchise. With a sequel already announced, Thanksgiving looks set to build on the success of its first installment. The film's reception has been generally positive, with many praising its fresh take on the slasher genre and its memorable villain, John Carver. The film's commercial success, coupled with the hints at a larger mythology involving multiple killers, sets the stage for the Thanksgiving franchise to potentially rival other iconic slasher series. The sequel, slated for release in 2025, is expected to continue the story of Jessica and her surviving friends, while exploring new avenues for horror. With the return of characters like Jessica, her father, and possibly Bobby, the next film could delve deeper into the motivations of the surviving characters and their roles in the carnage. The John Carver killer, who quickly gained attention for his pilgrim persona, may become a new face of the slasher genre, joining the ranks of horror icons like Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees. Conclusion: a new slasher icon. Thanksgiving successfully combines traditional slasher elements with a unique holiday-themed narrative, offering a fresh spin on the genre. While the film's twist is somewhat predictable, it sets up an intriguing future for the franchise. John Carver's Pilgrim Mask has the potential to become a lasting symbol of horror, and the film's mix of gore, suspense, and character-driven revenge provides a solid foundation for future sequels. Whether through copycat killers or new family vendettas, the Thanksgiving franchise has the potential to become a major player in the modern slasher landscape. Fans of horror can look forward to more bloody holidays ahead.